Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the new annual HCW Awards. And this is going out on New Year's Day, so Happy New Year to everyone, and welcome to the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through categories as we like them. So things like male of the year, female of the year. I'm not gonna ruin it all. You can just sit back and enjoy as we go through the categories we've picked out. And as always, I'm not on my own. We've got Rate Wrestle and DP both joining me this evening. I think it's the first time all three of us have been on for a while. So, how are you doing, boys?
Okay, I'm all speaking. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Normally I go last, so I assumed I was still going last. But yeah, it's going well. I had a good Christmas. We're back on the grind now.
Yeah, back at it. Back at it. What about yourself, DP?
Yeah, not too bad. It's something I always say all the time, but tough work schedule. But the break's been good to have to come to, and nice to be back in the room with you guys. Well, virtually.
Yeah. No, I think it's been tough life schedules over the last sort of like 6 weeks, especially for myself and you. Rate just seems to get off scot-free. Just easy life for Rate.
Yeah, I just let it happen. I'm not a wimp like you people.
No, but with that being said, as DP alluded to, it is very nice to be back recording with the boys. We're going to get into these awards pretty sharpish. And I think we'll start off with our female of the year, and these are going to be from AEW, WWE, and Ring of Honor that we decided to include as it's part of AEW now. So, if DP, you'd like to go first with your female of the year and your vote.
For female of the year, I'd have to go with probably Bianca Belair.
Reason. You're not. What a crap panel show this is. There we go. We're done for that. Next one.
No, so I say Bianca Belair because of just the gargantuan title that she's had this year. Almost, some people see it as a bad thing, but her sort of stranglehold she's had on that title. Like, it's almost like no one can beat her for it. So I think for that reason alone, she's had like sort of the best year in women's wrestling, at least among the companies that we've said.
Fair. I mean, there's a reason that I cannot pick Bianca Belair, and it's because I've been very forthright in my thoughts on this woman. So yeah, she's probably, like, as a year-to-year thing, January to December, she's probably had the solid year. Out of everyone, because I feel like all the other ones that would usually be up there have probably been injured. Like, Lynch was out for a while, didn't come back. Then you've got Bayley, who didn't come back until SummerSlam. But I am actually going to pick Bayley because I think everything changed when Bayley came back, and that is my pick. Damage Control were great. They got on top. They won the tag titles. They didn't pull the trigger on Bayley winning the title when they should have done. But I actually think Bayley's had a very solid year. She's not been in a boring match. And I've just enjoyed the way she's built a character. So that is my opinion. What about yourself, Ray?
Question. What happens if I go with someone else? What are we doing?
Well, see what happens.
I'm not going with someone else. I'm going to pick a winner right now. I'm going to go with Bianca Belair as well. Surprisingly, like I've crapped on her about selling many a show, but like she is pretty much the outstanding wrestler this year. It's for the reasons that there's not been a Flair, there's not been Banks is dead, and there's not Bayley's only had like a half year. I think if Bayley was around for the whole of the year, I don't know when she came back at Mania, didn't she?
No, SummerSlam.
Was it Summer? It was SummerSlam, wasn't it? Yeah, so like a full year. Probably it would have been Bayley. And obviously we might as well get the elephant out of the room. AEW was in the bin women's wise for me. They've not had a proper stagnant like top tier woman this year. Like Britt Baker's there, but like she's not had the greatest of years. But Bianca's pretty much just held the title up, and like her matches have like she's had some great matches. So I'd definitely go with Bianca Belair.
Fair enough. Well, there we go. Our female of the year, as voted by two of us, is Bianca Belair. As voted by two of us, is Bianca Belair. So well done to Bianca. If you ever see this, I'm sure you'll be very happy.
She's on the indie review soon.
No, we're going to move on from the female of the year, and we're going to go to tag team of the year.
Oh.
Go on, Ray, you can start us off this time.
I feel like there's only one tag team. Like, if they had a great year, like I'll say my other team that if they had a great year in AEW, I would have went with FTR. But AEW wise, they've been non-existent. So the tag team of the year for me, 100% is the Usos. Like, promo wise, they've been brilliant. Match wise, they've been brilliant. Like, they've been top tier for the whole of it. Like, I can't deny, and they've been tag team champions for the whole year. So.
Fair. I mean, what are your thoughts, DP? Have you got a different opinion, or?
I'm just trying to think on it really, because the Usos are a team for me that, while they are very good, and they are the ones, just to allude to what Rate's doing there, but for me the matches are a bit samey each time. Like you get their match against whoever it is, the Profits, New Day, whoever they fought off the top of my head, but like everything they do is sort of the same from their repertoire, and nothing really hits different in terms of the matches.
Yeah.
Like character development with the Bloodline and the pro work is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that alone to me is not team of the year. You need to have consistently different matches that tell different stories. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. I understand what you're saying. I'm just interested to see where you're going with this now.
The Gun Club.
Some kind of thing coming up. Yeah. No. I think, and this is going to be probably horribly slated of me, but I'm going off personal enjoyment as well. That
you're building this
again. If we were going with all things, I'd go with FTR because again, amazing outside of AEW.
Yeah.
But I think that I've got to go with the Acclaimed.
I had a feeling. I was really praying you didn't go Young Bucks, otherwise I would have just shit all over everything you said about the Usos. But yeah, no, I can see an argument for the Acclaimed.
Yeah, because just for me, like throughout the course of like even AEW's history, but like for just this year alone, like they've come from being this sort of jokey tag team, sort of like a DX kind of origin in regards to like comedy characters, teaming with Billy Gunn, having that whole feud with the Gun Club as well, that just really made them have a place in people's hearts.
Yeah,
and to that feud with Swerve and Our Glory as well, that everyone was literally acclaiming for the Acclaimed to pick up those titles. And I think that alone for me is merit enough for them to be team of the year.
Right. The only reason before we go into Fred, the only reason I wouldn't say the Acclaimed were team of the year is just because it was the end of the year that they kind of had that motion. I'd say the last 4 or 5 months that motion happened. Like if that was a whole year, then definitely. But that's the only reason I wouldn't kind of get there.
Yeah, but I think that for me that it's that vast difference. Whereas the Usos have been on that same line throughout the entire year. That's kind of like
consistent
and slowly.
Consistently the best team.
Consistently the same quality of match each time.
It's hard.
Which is good, but also kind of boring for me.
That's exactly how I feel about the Bucks, though. So I understand where you're coming from.
You just didn't to crap on the Bucks.
I know. I had to. Well, you're going to be really shocked when I pick them as team of the year now, aren't you? No. No, I am going to go against you, I'm afraid, DP, and I do believe the Usos have been team of the year. Purely for the reign, for the way everything's gone, how entertaining they've been, just everything that's happened in the past year to the Usos has just been, for me, it's been great. The matches, like you said, they might be the same, but they're always good. They don't have bad matches, which is a big thing. So yeah, no, for me it's definitely the Usos. So from there, Jimmy and Jay, you've won the tag team award. Well done, boys.
PWI, HCW, what's better? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
What
Uh,
difference?
and then where we're going to move on to now is feud of the year. What do we think is the feud of the year rate?
Oh, I don't know why you went to me first. I have no feud in my head. The first person I thought was Seth versus flipping Cody, but I can't.
Cody.
It's not long enough. Seth versus Cody was up there. I can't think of many feuds. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm really bottling this. DP, you got one? While I'm trying to think of something. Or
I've got one in my head. I'm just trying to think if there's any others that I'd go with before I went with it.
yeah, that's what.
I guess if I'm thinking along the long run of things for this course of this year, there's only one answer I can really come up with, I suppose, and that would be MJF and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Only because of like the amount of storytelling that was involved in that, and even though they only had one match this year, I'm saying one match in their entirety, also two matches. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was just something special about the way that it was told, and just the amount of history is being shown in the amount of the work that they did. Considering that MJF's also got like half the career that Punk's had as well. It's amazing to see the sort of work that both of them did and to see the match that they had, that dog collar match. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Between the two of them.
Yeah.
So for that reason, and for that reason, because there's also I can't think of many other feuds really throughout the course of this year.
There's been some odd ones. You had Gunther versus Sheamus, which you can class as a big feud.
That was just banger after banger, though, wasn't it? It wasn't much talking and there wasn't much build up. Would you class Jey Uso and Sami Zayn as a feud? Even though they didn't wrestle.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
was
class it. Yeah,
great.
good story. It was a great story. Well, like there wasn't matches. I think like in feud, you need a payoff match. Wise, like with them actually fighting.
I still think that we're still waiting for the payoff with that.
Yeah,
I think
so. Next year's awards. But yeah, Cody versus Seth was good. I think AEW had better feuds. Thinking about it, like you had CM Punk MJF. Oh, this is not like I know you don't really like him, but Eddie Kingston and Jericho's feud. Like the Mountains, that I did enjoy that as well. The feud between them, Jericho against most people, feud was.
I thought Moxley and Punk was all right because they had to make it as good as it could be after that shit show of a match they had. But the second match was great, and they built it as well as they could do leading up to it. And I felt like that was a decent feud that didn't actually go on long enough because of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that was a good feud. Don't agree with the whole ending of the match, but you can go back and watch the podcast to see my thoughts on that. But yeah, it's a difficult one, feuds, because I feel like the feuds don't, and people complain all the time that feuds last too long, but there's not enough memorable feuds now. Like when you go back through the years of go back to the Attitude Era and stuff like that, and it's always like Rock and Austin, Rock Triple H and Austin, Undertaker Kane, Undertaker Mick Foley. You don't have that anymore. And it just seems to like they'll work together for 2 months and then they'll move on. Roman Reigns hasn't had a proper feud in his whole title reign.
No, it's just like a month and then it's done.
Yeah, and then it's done. So, I mean,
but to your point as well, like I think there's a severe lack of memorable moments. Like you say, like you have Austin McMahon, with the countless things they have.
Yeah,
you have Orton Triple H with the House Invasion.
Yeah,
like everyone remembers that.
What?
Yeah, even like Randy Orton, RKO, and Stephanie. Like you remember a lot of these things.
Yeah,
and there's not much you can pick up or remember from in that one day feuds.
No, and if you one of the most drawn out feuds this year was Jungle Boy and Christian, but it was crap. It's just the worst feud ever.
Oh no, the drawn out feuds. You got loads. You got that. You got flipping Gargano and flipping Miz and Loomis. That was awful.
You got what was it? You got Global Combat Club against the JAS.
Yeah, that went on far too long.
Did Jericho MJF end this year? By the way, was that last year? Because that went on forever as well.
That was
the year before
last year.
Okay, just felt like, but yeah, going back to the point, DP, I would probably agree with DP with CM Punk MJF. That's the only one, except for Seth Cody, but that was more of a mauling on Cody's side in the end. MJF, CM Punk had the whole thing from him knowing him as a kid, all the way to like the dog collar match. So yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I'm happy to go with Punk and MJF as feud of the year. So we will we'll move on from that one, and we'll go to the best return of the year.
Ooh.
So to confirm with people, return means they've already been at the company. That's what we've got debut coming down the line, so not like just a whole general term. Return. So WWE was littered with them. It's hard to say because I'm liking the Wyatt return, and I feel like
he needs to have a match.
Yeah, he needs to have a match, but like the way they've booked it and like he's still like when he actually returned at the show was incredible, like the way they did it and stuff like that. Gargano's return was fine until we got stuck in the mix of that crappy feud.
Yeah.
AEW, I can't think of many returns. Like you can class the Young Bucks and Omega returning, but yeah, they've been thrown into a 7-way.
Omega's original return.
I do have an answer.
Yeah, Omega's original return before they ended up going away for a bit was good.
Yeah.
I have an answer for this.
Go.
So I am going to go with, and I promise I don't think all my answers are AW based, but I think it was this year. I'm sure it was. MJS return to AW.
Yeah. Yeah,
the whole setting up with the chip and the leather match, even though the beginning.
I found that kind of pants. I'm going to be honest. That's what the trouble is.
Yeah, that whole thing with the firm, the start of it was kind of, well, what's going on here? But then that reveal at the end of the show made up for that entirely in my mind.
Yeah,
like that is perhaps one of the most exciting returns they've had. Probably the most exciting return they've had.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
So the trouble with that, MGF with me, I would think that, but like I said, if I catch it just the one not return as his return, the start of the ladder match kind of put me off it, and the end was good. If it was just the end, it would have been fine, but the start of it was terrible. Like if we're just going for like them returning, how good the return was, I would go Bray Wyatt just because of that return and like him turning back and the whole fans machine. Like if we're just going for that, or are we going for the run of the return?
No, I think it's just the return.
Oh, I'd go Bray Wyatt stands down that return.
I think Cody Rhodes trumps
the door.
It.
Oh, Cody Rhodes! I forgot he existed, even though I spoke about him like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I think, I honestly just think like the whole reaction. Everyone knew it was him.
Yeah,
everyone knew, but it didn't take away from the reaction that was in that stadium when his music hit. I don't think anyone expected the music.
Yeah, the music made it. If it was him coming down to his old music, I don't think it would have been as big.
No.
You only smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Comes out dressed as Stardust. No, the fact that it was the music and everything around it built it up, and the fact that it was a fantastic match in the end as well. But yeah, I just think that was the best return of the year.
Yeah,
even though it was probably the most known.
Especially because he had a match straight away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I'd be happy to go with that.
Yeah. Okay, DP.
Well, he's outvoted.
Outvoted. Cody Rhodes is return of the year. So we may as well just go straight into debut of the year then. So who's had the best debut, DP?
Debut.
It's only one for me. I know mine straight away.
Let's go with Action Andretti. No, I'm kidding. It's actually quite a hard one to come up with because there's so much to think about throughout the course of the year, and I don't really recall any debuts.
I can give mine now if you want.
Go for it.
Actually, I'm not going to give mine because it might have been last year. Fuck. When was CM Punk this year? Was that last year?
No, last year.
Oh my god, doesn't matter. I don't care anymore.
Debut. Right, okay.
Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, CM Punk was my slot in my mind then. But yeah, if he was like that, that's how quick that flipping return and gone is.
Yeah. He's come in and he's gone.
Oh, that's more difficult than I wanted.
Yeah.
Because Cody's obviously been at WWE. No one's been pushed to the moon debut-wise. Like, no one.
maybe I've got one. I don't know if it counts, but
Go
I
on.
don't know if he's that particularly great.
Go
But
on.
in terms of debuts, no, you're not going to get anything great anyway. I'd probably go with Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
But even though that's only like the last quarter of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I
it
feel
was
like
a
it's one of
debut,
those-
wasn't it? He came straight up from NXT, and he went straight into a meaningful place, which is the biggest place to be on the roster at the minute if you're in WWE. You're in the bloodline.
Yeah, the shock
Yeah.
factor of him,
Yeah.
just causing a clash of the castle. You know, the big.
Oh, yeah, because everyone thought that McIntyre was
Yeah.
winning, because there's no way that anyone's going to be able to get
exactly.
involved.
Yeah.
hmm
Because AEW, like Claudio was this year, wasn't he? But he didn't really come
Yeah,
down to amazing. Like he just fought Zack, didn't he?
yeah.
It was a good match, but I wouldn't say it was like a massive pop to it.
And then there was Paige or Saraya.
Paige was cool, but it was also it just happened.
Renee Paquette?
Yeah, she interviewed a few people. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solo's the only person who's proper had like an Impact debut, hasn't he? Like the rest, it's not been proper debuts. It's just been a lot of returns everywhere.
No.
Like
Well,
AEW's
Gargano
shoved.
debuted, really.
Oh yeah, thinking about it. Yeah, but he's been lackluster.
Yeah, but even his debut itself was kind of lackluster as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very much no one's properly like the debuts, like AEW debuts, they're just thrown on the screen. You know, where Solo Sikoa came. Well, you could say Saraya just came back, and it's like Miles, and it was a good moment. It was just it lost. Claudio's match was a good match, but it was just there.
Yeah.
Who has Brian this year? Was that last year?
No, last year.
It feels like AEW.
Because that was who was that? That was Brian and someone else, wasn't it?
Regal.
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. Yeah.
Regal was last year as well, wasn't it? Because it was Adam.
No, Regal was this year.
Was it? Regal's was a good debut. I did enjoy that. Yeah, I'd probably go with Solo. It seems like we're very WWE basis there, but look at this.
Well, no, because we've just talked up how much of AEW, but none of it beat Solo Sikoa costing Drew McIntyre it.
Yeah, it's just a it happened, didn't it? Whereas Paige is if Paige attacked someone or it was like an Impact thing, it was just her coming down. And it was just everyone being shocked. Yeah. And I can't think of anyone else. Claudio's match with Zack was a good match, but it was bound to happen. Yeah.
For debut of the year, then we will go with Solo Sikoa.
Bloodline.
Yeah. So let's go with underrated as the next category. Who's been the most underrated person this year?
I'm going straight with Chad Gable.
Why?
Chad Gable, wrestling wise, the guy's a wrestling machine, and he just didn't get enough attention for it. He's every match he's had this year has been stupidly good, and he fights anyone, and he's great matches. His character work's been fine. The shoosh thing has been funny. But he's underrated for what he is. He reminds me of when Ziggler for years could wrestle and selling and stuff, and didn't get that pop until he eventually won Money in the Bank and won the title.
The title.
Gable needs an Intercontinental title run or something like that. Just suddenly to win it out of nowhere. He'd be the big one for myself.
Yeah. DP.
I haven't really got one in my mind for underrated. I suppose. No, he's not underrated, is he? I haven't really got one in my head. Honestly, I haven't really got one.
Who were you thinking then when you said he's not underrated?
I was gonna think Sami Zayn.
That's where I was thinking.
He's not underrated though,
No, yeah, it's the story. He's not underrated because the story's making him in the air. So I wouldn't class that as that. There's no one in AEW would say is underrated. A lot of the people are pushed that are the good people. There's no one that's kind of buried in AEW.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, I'm trying to think if there's anyone that's buried underneath the rubble.
Miro.
Well, Miro's not underrated. He's just not on the screen because he doesn't want to be there. Everyone in AEW, they're good at pushing people that deserve to be pushed.
Yeah, there's one in my mind I can think of, but I don't know if they count because they don't really wrestle.
Go on.
Renee Paquette.
I'd go with No, I go with Rebel, Brits, Potter or whatever,
I think she's underrated
like
for what she does. Yeah.
because of just everything that she brings when it comes to interviews, promos. Her facials are amazing in terms of like, is it shock? Is it happiness? Is it anger? It's always a bit exaggerated, which always adds to it. But she's always in the background, which
Yeah.
I think just makes her a bit more like, oh, people are seeing Brit, they're not seeing her.
I think.
Yeah.
Now you're going in there, like the AEW women's roster, the ones that are not pushed. There's a few of them that you kind of go,
Well,
yeah.
if she hadn't have won the title, I would have said this was Jamie Hayter's award.
Yeah, she kind of. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, if Hayter didn't win the title, yeah, this would have been it. But there's people in there. Like I would go like Serena Deeb as well. Like she has astounding matches and like she's great. Ruby Riott I like. But she's just been pushed into the bin. I don't know. Is she there anymore? Where?
Yeah, she had a match, didn't she, last week?
She's teaming with Willow, isn't she?
Yeah, like there's people like I like shit like the women's division. The people that don't get pushed in AEW I like, and the people that do get pushed, I'm like. Like it's like Tony Storm.
The women just don't get on TV in AEW. That's the problem.
Like you go like via that, I would probably someone like you're. I've completely forgot who I said. Deep, like Deep, yeah. Like she is the essence of Gable in WWE. Like fantastic wrestler, just doesn't get enough time.
Yeah,
I'd pick between them.
Fair enough. I think it is a difficult one with underrated. I think that Baron Corbin's severely underrated. I don't like his gimmick now. I just think he's an underrated worker. And people sleep on him a bit too much because he has had some bad gimmicks. He has.
Yeah.
But I think he's good and criminally underrated. So he'd be my pick, Baron Corbin.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, now this is where we're at. We're at the standstill unless DP.
The only reason why I can't say Corbin is because
Texas.
Even though he's a solid worker and he has good matches all the time, his character development is so up and down that I can't justify it. Like he's not underrated in my opinion. Like because he was either universally hated or just like mid tier. Like when he was bum ass Corbin or when he was happy Corbin without JBL, like he was sort of just eh. And then he had Madcap Moss, like hey, dad jokes that don't make any sense. Let's go. It was sort of to me that was kind of nothing. It was like they had nothing for him to do.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not his fault, but he made everything work. So if they rated him more, he'd get better stuff. But they don't rate him enough, so he's underrated because he can do everything.
I know what you mean, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I in my mind I can't justify it.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Who's yours again,
standstill? I went with Deeb or Gable. To be fair, like between them.
Gable, I can see. Yeah. I can see.
Gable,
I can see. Yeah.
I can't see because she's just not on screen.
Yeah.
Because she's underrated. Every time she's on the screen, great matches.
I'd be happy to change to and agree that Chad Gable. I'd go with that.
The WWE Awards lives. That's what this feels like.
I mean, we could go with Rebel still. That's still an option.
No.
Yeah, so Chad Gable. Right, so we'll move on to the next award, which we will go to overrated. Seeing as we've just done underrated, it makes perfect sense to move on to the overrated category next. Rate. Who are you thinking for overrated?
What's worse is people can clearly tell we're recording a different day, and I still haven't thought this through. So let me think about it. Like in my head, like there's a. Do you have one, DP?
At the moment, I don't. I'm just trying to think of who I put in that category.
Do you have one, Frozzy?
Yeah, Jade Cargill.
See, I would go with Jade Cargill, but I also like she just isn't on my rate. Then again, yeah, she's overrated for the essence that she's been TBS title champion for the whole. She's been it for the whole year, surely by now.
She's overrated by the people who run that company.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking in my own ratings because I don't rate her at all, but that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to use. Yeah, Jade
I just think
Cargill's a good one.
in general, she's being pushed more than she probably should be. She needs longer matches, and she needs more TV time in meaningful feuds.
Yeah.
But they're just like leaving a title on her that's doing nothing for her, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to beat her. And it's just like, by her own company, I just think she's overrated. I think there's a lot of upside to Jade Cargill, but at the minute, I just think she's overrated.
Yeah, Jade Cargill's a good one. There's a few that have popped into my mind that are WWE related. Ronda Rousey this year has been absolutely trash.
Yeah.
And she's still highly rated into what she's champion and getting over and things like that. And one which surprises me thinking about it is Raquel Rodriguez.
Right.
I think she's, like, in NXT, she was, like, fine, but she's gone down the pan in WWE, but she's still getting pushed to the moon on the top of the roster fighting Rossi, but she's done nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I feel like I'm just naming women here. I'm trying to figure out, like,
I've got one for men.
Yeah.
I've got one for men as well, I think.
Yeah, mine is WWE, and it's Ricochet.
As if, same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's exactly who I was thinking. Yeah, Ricochet.
Wow.
Quite literally, he's put in these high spots, like in that booking wise, and he does nothing. He just does flips and stuff. It's just like, hey, look at this guy, he can do a flip. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah, he is just
so
Cirque du Soleil. Everything that the books get slated for is Ricochet, but WWE.
Yeah, but the difference is I think Bucks can do storytelling quite well.
Yeah, well,
no, your Young Bucks can't do storytelling. Now, if you're throwing out there Young Bucks storytelling, the storytelling of the Young Bucks is them pounding that they're the best tag team in the world. Yeah. That's what their storyline is.
If it works, it works.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. No, that's the problem.
Like, I like the Young Bucks, but out of everything you could have picked up, the storytelling isn't what I would go with the Young Bucks.
Yeah. It's difficult because, like, a lot of the people I was thinking of, apart from Ricochet, were women, and it's because women's wrestling is so highlighted now that it's hard not to sometimes, because I think there's not as many women as there is men. So when they do get on the TV and everything like that, they're very noticeable. And you pay a bit more attention to women's wrestling than you maybe did 10 years ago. And that's just kudos to the women who are doing the work and putting it in, that we're noticing that people are maybe being pushed a bit too much and they're being pushed to something that they're not at the minute. And that'll bring us on to the most improved, because mine is going to be a woman for most improved wrestler. But yeah, I just think it's difficult. Like, a lot of the men have been quite solid. I'd probably throw out Karrion Kross as another overrated wrestler, because I just don't think he's very good. And WWE push him more than they need to.
Yeah, like, I liked Karrion Kross as Killer Kross when he was out, outside WWE, but I think that because he's known as Killer Kross for a start, so I think outside the PG you can't really have someone coming around and called Killer Kross. And he's very subdued. Another one I would throw out, which is probably going to get shat on. I massively think Hangman Adam Page is overrated.
Ooh,
that is one like
that's interesting. That one.
The man is a charisma vacuum. Like, wrestling, and he's wrestling wise, he's just not, like, where he is on the AEW roster, he doesn't, with everything he's about, so his wrestling wise is a bit fine. He's got no character. He's just literally the plain Jane of wrestling in AEW, and it just pops into my head.
A lot of his character was, when he came out onto the stage, the little banner that they put up to say it's Hangman Adam Page, a lot of his character was whatever was wrote on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's
he's not had a beer in 20 days or something. So
yeah, exactly. And that was his character. And it's just like, I liked him when he was being a bit more serious about the title with Moxley and stuff like that, but there isn't enough going on with Adam Page.
Yeah. And they shoved him with the Dark Order, and it's just like, he's not proven himself to me, like, I'm going to be honest, like, to where he's actually at.
I'd even throw Darby Allin into the overrated mix as well.
No, I like Darby Allin. I can't accept
People do like him. But if we're edging on the side of controversial, if I was to throw someone out, who a
controversial,
lot of people like, Darby Allin, because all he does is try and kill himself to get over.
I think I can back Darby Allin being underrated.
Let's just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No,
So but when you think about, like, you mentioned Adam Page, and then I was thinking, who else in AEW? And then I'm like, Darby Allin. Yeah,
because if you think, so I think, like, this is up to you because I've gone for either side. All you think is either between Ricochet, Hangman Page, or Darby Allin, because they're the three big stars.
Really
they're up there, yeah. They're not like middle of the range. Jade Cargill's kind of, she isn't up. She's just like there.
Which is arguably one of the biggest women's wrestlers currently in the industry based on her booking.
I don't know. Rampage is not booking to me. Do you know? So like, when you're appearing on Rampage 90% of the time, whereas Darby Allin's a main roster. Hangman Page, where I don't know where he is at the moment, but he's normally the top of the card. And then Ricochet's been elevated to the moon in WWE.
Now that we've said it, I think it's Darby Allin.
Also, think it's Darby Allin.
If I went out of the three, I would have went Ricochet, but I've been outvoted. Darby Allin.
Like case of the year, he's just been in the sidekick.
Fucking, we're gonna get cancelled by AEW. Oh no. Let it be heard.
Stop trying to kill yourself every match and actually, like, tell a decent story.
I think this was my fault. If I didn't go on a tangent with Adam Page, this would have
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, so we'll give that one to Darby Allin, and then where we'll go from here is most improved.
Excellent.
DP, take it away.
Okay, most improved. This might be controversial.
Darby Allin.
You know, I really like when he went in the body bag. I really like that. No, honestly, I'd probably go towards NXT for this one, and my pick would be Mandy Rose.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. It's something controversial. Simply because throughout the course, obviously, we all know her as this, this blonde, like, can't really wrestle, but she has the looks.
Yeah.
Like, but ever since she went to NXT, and it's been last year that all started.
Yeah.
But throughout the course of this year as well, she's been carrying that division quite not single-handedly, but as the veteran as well in that role. She's done a fantastic job, and she's also improved her in-ring skill and character. And everything that she brings to the table, or brought to the table, with JC and Gigi as well, elevating them as well.
Yeah.
She's done a lot for NXT and the brand, and also women's wrestling in general, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a very solid shout, because like you said, it's been nearly, what is it, over a full calendar year since she was moved to NXT, and she has got a lot better, or had got a lot better. It'll be interesting to see where she lands, considering everything that's happened. Because if she ends up in AEW, she'll end up on Rampage, and that'll do nothing for her.
TBS champion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she'll just get fed to Jade Cargill. But yeah, no, I like that shout. It's a good shout, DP. Definitely one to consider. What about yourself, Ray?
I've got two. One, one's a tag team. So my first one is the Acclaimed. Like they've skyrocketed their ability this year. Like, they were nothingness in last year's. Like, they had the rapping and the start, but like match quality wise, they've been great this year. Like, the characters have been pushed more on the screen. If I had to go between them, it probably Max Caster is the rapper, isn't he? Yeah. So if I had to pick one between, it probably would be him because he's had a few singles matches because Bowens has been injured. So I'd either pick him, or it probably would just be the massive push Jamie Hayter.
Yeah,
I would go because she's been. Well, from the women's division, she was just kind of like below everyone, like no one really cared, which I felt bad with, and now she's kind of skyrocketed with everyone, and she's kind of pushed her way in front of everyone and went, yeah, I'm the better of everyone here, character-wise, and like the pop and the reaction and stuff, she's kind of built her own, organic would be the word, So I'd pick between them two if I was going for ones.
Right, fair enough, which are solid again. I definitely can see with the Acclaimed, why you'd pick them, even as a tag team. I mean, I'm happy to give it to a tag team if that's what it comes to. But I was thinking Liv Morgan. because I just think she's got so much better in the ring. Everyone at some point wanted her to win the title when she did. And then when she lost the title, and it was an absolute shit show the way she lost it, she had matches after it that were really, really good on TV, and she got a character over as a bit of a nutcase, and you didn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
And I just think that Liv has improved everything, and it's down to a lot of it's down to Natalia and TJ Wilson, who've been training with her, and then obviously she trains now. I've seen her training with Sheamus and stuff like that. So she's clearly become a vacuum for like taking in knowledge, feeding off other people's experiences, and taking it on board and just improving in the ring. And I think she's done really well.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Especially from where she was coming from, like she was pretty mid card.
Yeah, I mean, she had matches bumped off Mania and stuff like that in the last minute, and it's just like, how'd you stay motivated? She didn't only stay motivated, she won Money in the Bank, won the women's title, had a decent run as champion, could have been better, they should have done more with her, but she didn't have bad matches while she was champion. She's not had bad matches since neither, so.
This is difficult now. Because
Yeah.
they're all four people that have been mentioned are really like Mandy Rose obviously was in the bin in WWE for like years. And then she became women's champion, had it for like 400 odd days or whatever it was. Liv Morgan, pretty much in the bin. And then she's kind of like rose like a phoenix as well. Acclaimed were pretty much just average. They weren't in the bin, but they were average. So like that might push, like they weren't that far off. Especially AEW's tag team
They were a
division.
comedy act, though, weren't they? That's what they were. And then they became serious, and everything started working. They became champions, and like just not even just like basing it off an argument. As soon as you said them, I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be the winner.
And then obviously, as I said, Jamie Hayter is just she's obscurity to the mainstream.
Yeah. I think with Rate's picks, they're both organic rises.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously with Mandy Rose and with Liv Morgan, they're manufactured.
Yeah.
So I'd be more willing to go, I think, with maybe probably Hayter, in all honesty, because I think that's more of a nothing to highness.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I would push more, saying I've went for both, but I'd probably push more to Acclaim because it's easier probably to get over in the women's division because it's so absolutely dog crap sometimes, whereas the tag division and the male roster is in the like you have the high stars and then you have nothingness in AEW. There's not like a proper mid card, so to get above is pretty solid.
I'd argue against that personally. I think it's a lot harder for women to rise above and win the acclaim. Pardon the pun there, but to win the acclaim of the fans, just due to the fact that it's so heavily criticised nowadays as compared to what it used to be.
The women's division in AEW just get no time. So the fact that Hayter's as over as she is testament to the fact that she's done the most with her time when she's got the TV time. She has good matches. And yeah, I'd probably err towards Hayter a bit more, as much as the Acclaimed have done like great work.
Either way, they're my pick, so I don't care who you pick.
Yeah,
everybody loves the Acclaimed.
I'm going Jamie Hayter, so it's Jamie Hayter. Me and DP have had the deciding vote there.
I don't hate it.
No. We'll move on to worst wrestler of the year. This could be quite contentious, just because you're naming someone as the worst.
See, I would go with my ratings here instantly. Like, if you're thinking like worst wrestler, like, and it depends on the position because you can say someone like worst wrestler, you can say someone like Tozawa, but that's his position on the card. Like, if you're going with someone, you would band him with Jade Gargo straight away again.
Yeah.
Like, match quality wise, unless she's fighting someone like Serena Deeb, like, the matches have been not that great.
Yeah. I suppose it also comes down to how you're, like, sort of considering the category. Yeah. Is it worse wrestling in terms of their booking? Is it worse wrestling in terms of their ability?
Yeah, I think it's
a mixture. I think you'd be going with ability because you're naming the worst wrestler. It's wrestler is the key term there.
Yeah, like
you're not picking the worst booked wrestler. You're picking the worst wrestler.
Omos is up there.
That was legit the first I came to my mind.
Like that, some terrible matches. Like someone that's really low rated, which randomly they don't wrestle enough to win this award. But Jinder Mahal, wrestling wise, has been atrocious for the last year. Whenever he's on TV,
Who's the big guy in? Is it Satnam Singh in AEW? Terrible.
The trouble with him, he hasn't had enough matches for me to care. That's why he's just there. Whereas Omos and Jade Cargill have been on my screen a lot.
Yeah, Satnam is more of a support role to Lethal, as opposed to how Omos was a single.
Yeah,
threat.
Omos is a proper wrestler, and Jade
Even without having a match, to be fair, you can tell Satnam Singh is dreadful.
Yeah.
And then so I suppose we're sort of between who you just said, Omos.
Omos and Cargo I went for, but I don't know if anyone else has any nominations. Or
Got anyone, DP?
Mine, like I said, my first thought was Omos. Which is the category. I was like, I have one, and it was like, okay, Omos. And then someone started talking. I was like, okay, fine, I'll let him speak first. But
yeah,
I like Omos.
I'd be airing towards Luchasaurus. I just don't think he's good.
I would have agreed with you, like if this was like last year or the year before.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't get it. I don't understand him, and I think his matches are very clunky unless he's in with someone who can make him look good. And you could probably throw Wardlow in there as well.
Oh,
he's over, but he ain't a good wrestler.
I'll say Wardlow's overrated.
I think Wardlow he does what he needs to do. Character-wise, he's pants because they've gave him. He needs to be like a bodyguard, like role, character-wise, but like he does what he needs to do in the ring. That's where he can do moonsaults. I've seen him do moonsaults and crap like that if he actually wants to do them.
Yeah.
Are we counting part-timers for this?
If you put Jeff Jarrett, I'm going to fight
you. They're a wrestler.
Goldberg's an instant shout for me.
Has he wrestled this
year?
Has
Goldberg had a match in 2022?
I'm sure he did in Saudi, didn't he? Earlier this year, like in.
I don't think he did. No, he might do. Yeah, but let me have a look.
These are shit fucking wrestler nowadays. He was shit back then in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like,
let's have a look. Goldberg has wrestled once this year. Yeah, he wrestled Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in Saudi.
And he lost. It was in Saudi. It was Elimination Chamber.
Oh, it was Elimination Chamber
Jada Superdome in Saudi. Yeah.
Right,
I think it was the week the podcast started.
Probably was actually
19th of February. Yeah.
It was around that time we started in not long before Mania. I think we started in March.
Yeah, I think based on the fact they only had one match, I can't really go with that.
Yeah, like if I'm going to push towards someone, like Omos is there a lot. Jade Cargill's on the screen. Omos is on the screen, then he disappears for ages. Where Jade Cargill's on the screen continuously. Luchasaurus, I'd rather watch than watch the other two. I'll be honest. I'll watch a Luchasaurus match over these two.
Yeah. Also, if you look short, you see Christian Cage, and he's always great. So.
Yeah, but that's not the what we're discussing.
Right, I'm happy to go with Jade Cargill.
Hello, everybody. Well...
Yes, Doofy?
No, sorry, I wasn't aware Cargill was an option.
You want rest Cargill? We're on about Jar Cargill for the first 5 minutes of it.
No, because I heard Omos Luchasaurus. I was like, oh, okay, so between those two.
Oh, and Cargill.
Jesus.
He literally just said Cargill's been. He'd air more towards Cargill because she's on TV more.
Yeah, she's the first person I mentioned was Cargill.
I think my iPod cut out when you said this. Then.
Right, fair enough.
Let me throw it out there again. Jade Cargill.
Yeah. And I'm airing more towards Cargill.
Yeah, I would say if this was last year, like I wouldn't put Cargill on it because she's only just started. It's been another year now, and it's kind of like, come on.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with Jade Cargill for that.
Congratulations. Jade Cargill.
Yeah, we'll tag her in it.
So where we're going to go to next is Company of the Year.
Well, it's a 2-horse race. It depends on how you look at this. I think WWE prior to Vince McMahon leaving was in the bin. And when did Vince McMahon leave? Like July?
Just before SummerSlam.
So August. So you got to think that's 8 months of the year. WWE was crap.
Yeah.
AEW has been. It was good at the start of the year. Then it's kind of stagnated, but it hasn't been like awful.
Do you think it was good at the start of the year, or do you think WWE was that bad it made AEW look better?
Like, there's a chance that could be a possibility. Like, I can't, like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of my head, like, in general.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a look at AEW in general.
I think I agree that WWE was in the bin, and if you're going off longevity of the product being good, because there's only two in contention, is AEW or WWE. AEW was better for a longer period, so it has to be them.
Yeah, and then you had like Punk being around, Bryan being around, like their matches, like their Blackpool Combat Club, and WWE for like, the whole podcast for the first 5 months was us just crying about WWE being awful.
If you're splitting it over into months, you give the first 8 months to AEW and the last 4 months to WWE. Which, if that's the way you're going to split it, AEW wins. So.
Yeah. Like, say if Triple H started, if this was in March, then there'd probably be a landslide for WWE at the moment, but, like, AEW is kind of like the first 8 months of it until WWE kind of got their crap together. And AEW still had good event shows during the last 4, so it's not like they've just fell off a cliff.
No, the pay-per-views from AEW always have good matches on. They're just like 20 of them. That's the problem.
There's no build.
Yeah, there's no build, but they have good matches, and there's 20 of them, and the show lasts 12 hours.
Yeah, so I was talking to my brother about it. The AEW struggle until they need more pay-per-views. To have, like, because it's either you have a story like MJF, Chris Jericho, that runs for 9 months, or you have a match, or you have a story that runs with 2 weeks because they need to sort something out, and then there's just a brawl at the end of the last Dynamite before the next show, before the pay-per-view. They can't get a middle ground because of pay-per-view limits.
Yeah. So
I will make a case for.
Are we all agreed it's AEW?
Yeah, I guess. I was going to make a case for NXT, but neither of you watch NXT. So I was thinking to avoid.
NXT are classed as WWE, though. Like, if I'm going to NXT would be in WWE's banner, and NXT 2.0 until it was pants for the first part of it as well. Like, when it first started.
Yeah.
Like, I just stopped watching NXT because of it. Yeah. So there you go, AEW.
Right, well done, AEW. So where we're going to move to now is Match of the Year. So, has anyone got anything that just jumps to mind straight away? Speak now.
There's 2 that jump for mine,
Yeah, I have a lot of recency bias with my one, which would be FTR Briscoes.
That was one that would pop into mind. Dog collar match.
Yeah.
FTR Briscoes 2 matches probably up there. Both of them are 8 5 stars. Like, there's FTR Briscoes, both ROH. That's why I had to mention at the start of this video if we're doing ROH, because they're and then if we're going from a WWE perspective, the only one I can think of instantly is Gunther versus Sheamus.
Yeah.
And Cody versus Seth, actually. That was... I really enjoyed Hell in a Cell. I really enjoyed Hell in a Cell.
The match that should never have happened.
Yeah, and it fucking was a banger, and it shouldn't have happened. And it's like, is he going to protect Is he going to protect the pec? No, he's going to rub a kendo stick in it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that appealed more to me anyway. That appealed more to like a hardcore fan, like someone who prefer like the violent side of things.
Yeah, I fucking loved it.
To like for me, I wasn't really that bothered about Seth and Cody and Hell in a Cell. Like, it didn't interest me. Like, I prefer the WrestleMania match between the 2 of them.
I fucking loved it. Loved it.
But no,
to be fair, I loved all of them. So,
was Forbidden Door this year? Or was it last year?
Yeah, Forbidden Door was this year. It was in June.
Yeah. Because I was gonna go with. This is an odd one for me, but I think Owen Cassidy and the Will Ospreay. Because for me, that was the best card, best match of that night.
That was a good match. I don't think I'd rate it as high. Like, I'm trying to quickly scan my ratings.
I mean,
obviously there's a lot of matches throughout this year.
Yeah.
And in terms of personal enjoyment, I can't think of any others this year that I got more enjoyment from than that one.
If we're going from personal enjoyment, it is for me either Sheamus and Gunther at Clash, Roman Reigns against Lesnar at SummerSlam, because I fucking love that match. It was so good.
It's just wacky and crazy. It was great.
Yeah, it was great for all. Not from a wrestling standpoint. It was just because it was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, but nothing's going to beat Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville.
Oh fuck it! I was waiting for you to bring it up, but like when you first said personal enjoyment, I looked and went, "Oh god!" And then you didn't say it. I was hold on. Like, I've got
Yeah.
my list in like my top 3 matches of AEW, WWE, and Ring of Honor. Which,
Yeah.
thinking about it, like this is AEW, so these are not Ring of Honor ones. So you had the Jericho Appreciation Society versus Danielson, Moxley, Kingston, Ortiz, and Santana in that insane blood and guts match. No, it wasn't in blood and guts, was it? It was Double or Nothing, where it was just like absolute chaos. Moxley's music was playing for half the thing, and then Jericho hit him on the head with the radio to stop the music. Like, then flipping, didn't he come down with... I'm mixing matches in the thing, because I remember Kingston coming down bloodied and looked like a zombie. I think they're 2 different matches, but that was insane, that match. Anarchy in the Arena, that's what it was called, wasn't it? Anarchy in the Arena, because Jericho choked out Bryan with the ropes in the end. So I had that one, and then I had the same match, Blood and Guts, so the top 2 of them, and then I had Sabre versus Claudio, was my third favourite in AEW.
Right.
In technical standpoint. And then if we're going quickly to WWE, Gunther versus Sheamus was the one I mentioned straight away. Then Seth versus Cody, and what's my other one that I had listed? Oh, Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes. Extreme Rules was insanity as well.
Yeah. See, I quite enjoyed Rollins and Riddle at Clash. I thought that was a good match.
Is that the one? Oh, the Clash. I was in the Pit. Sorry, Extreme Rules.
It was a good match as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then I had, I've got both Ring of Honor, FTR versus the Briscoes twice, 5 stars. So I would have to go with, like, from my rating standpoint, because the others are like 4 3/4, whereas both of these were 5 stars. I'd have to go for an FTR Briscoes match. And I'd probably go Dog Collar.
I'd probably go with the second, Dog Collar, FTR Briscoes, or Gun for Sheamus. Those are 2 5 stars matches.
Yeah, I'd just from, like, purely because I was there, I'd go Gunther Sheamus.
So we've got 2-way tie.
You need to rescind the vote from one of them then, DP, because you can't vote twice.
Yeah, you're right.
The only trouble is you haven't seen the FTR thing match, have you? Have you seen it? Oh, you have seen it. Okay, that makes me happier.
Because everyone was raving about it.
Everybody loves their Acclaimed. I'll tell her that.
But yeah, DP needs to make his mind up now.
Yeah, I think I've got to go with FTR Briscoes.
Fair. It was a banger, so I'm not going to make too much of a complaint about that.
Reach for the skies.
Yeah. So, last category that we have is Male of the Year. So, has everyone got, like, people that they're thinking of, or are we going into this blind?
I've got 2. I can if I had to pick, I've picked 1 from each show as well,
Right.
just kind of give thing. I think there's an obvious one in WWE. Which is
break. I mean.
There's a few. Like, there's middle ground. Like, I've liked Gunther this year. Sami Zayn's up there, but that was character work. I don't think match wise he's been like there. The one I pick for WWE is probably Roman Reigns. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the whole Roman Reigns has been insane, character wise. Like the bloodline, wrestling matches have been good as well.
Yeah,
I remember old school Roman Reigns was just spear, Superman punch, spear. Whereas now he just works the emotions and he just looks and when he rambles on the camera, just going like, it's like...
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
I think if you can get a fantastic match out of Logan Paul, of all people.
I don't know, Logan Paul's had some good bang.
Why are people so surprised that Logan Paul
Logan Paul
can do what he does? He's an athletic guy.
All 3 matches he's had were good.
At all. I'm not surprised by that. I'm surprised by the fact that no one recognises Roman's ability in that match.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's sort of even
Logan's great. Logan's athletic. He can fly. He can do this. He can do that. Roman's the one who's making him look good. Like, he's looking phenomenal because of Roman.
Yeah. Roman Reigns is the WWE pick.
And out of the left, I don't think Benny, you'll agree with this, but I've loved him this year. AEW, I would go with Chris Jericho. Like, his match, I've enjoyed his matches and his character and everything. Like, he's been a highlight of most matches that I've been watching in AEW, and his character driven wise, like he changes a lot. So he went from the Inner Circle kind of thing, and then moved to the Jazz Society of the Sports Entertainment. It's been hilarious. And his matches have just been good.
But arguing on that same level, you could say Sami Zayn as an adaptable, great comedy character, great wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Jericho's done nothing that Sami Zayn hasn't.
he's won titles. And he defended them. He run the Ring of Honor title and won it a lot,
Touche.
yeah. That's the only thing I'll push him above. Like, he run the Ring of Honor title and he had good matches with random... Like, Colt Cabana, he had a good match with. Like, I didn't expect that to be a good match.
I don't think having a title means that you're doing any better, especially not when you're shoehorned into a Ring of Honor title, right?
Yes, but it was good. That's what I'd say. He was the top of AEW for me, Chris Jericho. That's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
I can see why you'd pick Jericho, but I don't know. It's difficult because a lot of their big stars have had time off this year.
Yeah.
So if you look at your Adam Cole's, your Daniel Bryans, who were off TV for a while, Omega, the Bucks, they were all off TV.
Yeah.
You lost CM Punk, you lost MJF.
Moxley's only been the only constant, but Moxley, the trouble, he's had really good matches, but he's also had some like squash, poor, I don't care matches. Yeah.
Because he's not. I'm not going into a rant about Moxley, but yeah, I think for me it's got to be probably Reigns.
I thought you said Comedy Reigns then.
Comedy Reigns. He has been quite funny recently. He's been a bit oosty, hasn't he?
So. Yeah.
But no, I would probably go with Roman Reigns for Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah.
The Bloodline reigns supreme. The Usos. So it's just if we're sponsored by the Bloodline.
I know, yeah. I feel like Bloodline have won everything. Did Sami Zayn even win anything?
No, he didn't win anything, no. But the Uso won something, Solo won something, Roman won something.
Yeah.
What did Solo
win? He won debut of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think we meant like title-wise.
Oh, no, we're not on about title-wise, no.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
He also won, he was North American champion, wasn't he? If you think about it.
Yeah, not Bloodline he weren't, no.
He was for like a week, and then they got rid of it. Yeah, he was. Yeah, and then it wasn't actually. Yeah, because it wasn't official.
Yeah. Well, that brings to an end our awards for the end of the year. You will be seeing this on January the 1st.
Probably.
So happy New Year to you all. Follow us, like, subscribe on our YouTube. Twitter is at the HCW show. Keep getting interactive. Join the Discord. Everything will be below you in this video that you can like and subscribe on. Follow us all individually. We've got some good stuff coming up. We've got some show reviews. And we've got potentially a giveaway coming up as well for an indie show in the UK. We'll give you more details as and when we get things confirmed, but it is in the works. So yeah, anyone got anything to add?
With the giveaway, it'll probably be announced the same day as this video comes out anyway. Who knows?
Yeah, potentially. So yeah, if you watch this video on the day, look out for a tweet because no doubt we'll throw a tweet out. We'll all be promoting that. But yeah, we won't give anything away in terms of the company that we're going to be doing it with or anything like that. So we'll keep that as a surprise for the tweet. But yeah, DP, have you got anything to add?
Not much. Just to really thank everyone who's been with us for the course of this year. Who's interacted with our videos, commented on videos via Twitter or Instagram, however you saw fit to do it, or even through Discord, where most of us sort of hang out anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just been nice to build a community and chat with you guys, and just get to know you all and for you to know us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like with it being the last video of the year, that's going to go out on New Year's Day, we should probably take the time to thank everyone we've interviewed this year. Well, you two more often than not. But there's been a lot of people who give up their free time to come on and be interviewed by us. Let us promote them and just hear their stories as well. So if anyone who has taken part in an interview, I'm not going to list you all because I'll be here all night. But yeah, no, thank you very much. It is much appreciated. I know the guys loved interviewing you and we'll all loved watching them. So yeah, more of that will be coming in the new year, and you never know. Give it a year. Anyone that we have interviewed, we could re-interview and see how the past year's gone for them as well. Since the first interview. So yeah,
we made them.
Yes. But no, thank you everyone for your support, and keep supporting, and we'll keep pumping out the content. So thank you very much, and good night.
I forgot to research a goodbye. Damn it. Auf Wiedersehen!
Good night!